Let's do it.
Hello, my name is Hantayumi. I am a cyborg. Welcome to the GizzVerse Podcast. The show dedicated to the King Wizard and the Lizard Wizard universe.
Yo, man, hot take. I honestly think that album is the best album that they've come out with. We need more Cookie.
A multi-dimensional universe with an invisible face.
Welcome to an altered future, brother.
Once created by a band, is now sustained by its fans.
Uh-oh. I hear the road train a-coming, baby. It's a-coming.
Open the door to your mind, cause here are your hosts, Tommy O'Neill and Prancing Trunk.
The boys in
Out
green.
here.
The boys in green are back in town, baby.
The boys in green. I like that. The Greeny boys.
They thought we were gone, you know? They thought it was the COVID killed the Giz love, but they
over
were
our
wrong.
dead bodies.
They were wrong.
Over our COVID-infested bodies, buddy.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Busted Wide Open Podcast. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. The GizzVerse Podcast.
Oh,
shit.
getting gizzy with it.
Hey. Yeah, it's been a while, but, you know, a lot's happened in between now and the last time that we did a Gizzy
a lot
podcast.
has happened, right?
Yeah.
Since Infest the Rat's Nest, no doubt.
Kind of kooks. Well, no,
Yeah.
we did that one about the three album
The
releases.
live albums. Yeah,
three
the live
live
albums.
Which kind of goes into what we're talking about today, of course, the Chunky Shrapnel
Okay.
release of live footage, you know, a lot of live stuff coming out.
Live. Yes,
It's good.
sir.
It's good
It
for
is
the
good.
COVID. You know,
I
you
think
don't
it's good. Well, it was a lot of, I feel like that was a lot of people's concern. I feel like years ago, people were like, when are you guys dropping a live album, man? When is it happening? And it's happening with a movie at the same time? Simultaneously? Heavy.
And I mean, it makes sense with today's technology. Like, it should be able to do that pretty easily. You know, it's like just turn your phone on, bro. You know what I mean? Like everything.
Let's ride.
It's all taken care of, bro. They put an MP3 recorder into the
Bang.
the mix board. You're good, dude. It's all gravy. The band.
We don't got iPhones nowadays, man. You know, like keeping up to date.
It's cool during this coronavirus and pre on it. I like to. It's just nice. It's nice that Gizzard's kind of doing the live stuff now that we can't go see them live. It's perfect timing. I'm very sure they didn't plan on it like that. I think this is going to happen regardless of coronavirus. But yeah, it's cool. I like it.
Well, if you've listened to Infest the Rat's Nest, they kind of predicted this kind of stuff would be going on. Okay, Superbug, hello.
Superbug. I don't know if the Superbug. I think in the song was made by Mother Earth. You know, it wasn't made by man. And from what I understand from Alex Jones, this is a Chinese-made government-concealed conspiracy, Busteroo, trying to keep us from not seeing King Gizzard live. If anything, this is a giant conspiracy to keep Kizzy fans waiting months and months and possibly years because some of these venues aren't going to open up at all. I don't know if you know that.
I know
it's crazy.
Hot take right there. This was to take away King Gizzard from us. Yeah, that's true, man.
LA governors are saying that their big venues aren't going to be open up until next year.
I've heard that. I don't want to believe any of it, you know, but I've heard
crazy. It's crazy because, like, I mean, I definitely want to see Giz when they make their way to California, but the governor speaks for all, and there's a lot of mayors that are like, yeah, dude, we agree with him because it's buck nasty out here. So it's kind of it's nice to have this in the meantime, so to speak.
Do you, in your heart of hearts, they rescheduled the Red Rock shows, for example, and like the American tour for October?
I heard that. Yeah. I know you got a crew going.
I know, man. You know it. I know it, and I need it. You think it's happening? You think October is a plausible thing today, right now? You think it's possible?
I think it's pretty. I think Gizzard should do what Sterling is it for the NBA, the commissioner of the NBA. I think Eric should come out and do this and be like, we don't know nothing, so we have to wait. We got to wait.
We don't know, right?
So we know. So, like, anything that I'm telling you is just getting your hopes up, and then I look like a jackass when I'm continually pushing the date back. But, I mean, as far as they're concerned, they King Gizzard, you know, if you guys don't know about, you know, how Flightless works, they're what makes that company go. The King Gizzard is what makes Flightless run. So if they're not making moves, if they're not putting money back into the pot, I understand why it would be concerning for them and them to be kind of freaking out right now. And to be on top, as an artist, I'm freaking out. I'm trying to get dates, and then bookers are like, bro, like, I don't know if we're going to be open. Like,
so we don't even know, bro.
Open,
I don't
like,
know if I have a house.
Exactly. Standing as an establishment, not just like open in a couple months, but like open again, period.
Yeah.
So it's wild. But I understand why they would want to reassure their fans. I just don't know that a venue like Red Rocks in the U.S. would be open by October. That's a lot. I have a couple friends that live in Colorado, and they're kind of like Florida, where it's like they're getting the second wave. Like California and New York got that first immediate we're shut down wave, but now it's going over the course of the country, and I think it is going to push it back farther because it's not just their show, and this is what I've had to keep in mind. All stuff, all the shows are getting pushed back, so they're going to have to wait for everybody to. And you know what I mean? It's gonna be
true.
so long. It's gonna be so long. It's crazy. I have no idea, but I hope that they can get back on the road and everything kind of gets back to normal, not just for them, but you know, you have to keep in mind all the venues, all the people that work at the venues, all the people that make money because of King Gizzard. It's not
so much,
just
man.
them, but it's like a lot. It's the same with athletes, you know? It's like they're responsible for a lot of people's paychecks. And I know that sounds bizarre just saying it flat out, but when you look at it, it's really important to kind of get stuff back on the road here.
Yeah, it is. And if you saw from the AMA Reddit yesterday, Stu said that the U.S. was his favorite place to tour, and there was supposed to be Chunky Shrapnel too.
And we were at that
document the U.S. tour.
And we were at that show that they wanted to document too. So I
see. I think he means this upcoming U.S. tour. So like,
let me clarify. I would be at that show that they would, and they would definitely include Red Rocks in that too.
100%.
There's no way they wouldn't. That's an epic. Those are two gigantic venues. They would definitely include that in their whole. Yeah, so it is disappointing to think that it wouldn't happen, though. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and they're going to record it, and it's going to be more thunderous because the U.S. rocks. When Giz comes, the U.S. We like to show them a good time.
Darn tootin'.
Some doors.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. So we're in different time zones.
Yeah.
Did you see Chunky immediately at it was 6 p.m. I think it was 3 for you guys.
Yeah.
Did you see it immediately? Was there like a rush for that? Like, 24 hours.
I'm to be perfectly honest with you, Trees. I woke up yesterday, bad mood straight away. I've been working out as hard as I can.
Vigorous.
At home, and I did some funky new back workouts, and like a weird part of my back started hurting. I've still been working out, so it's just like exacerbating it further and further because I'm a complete dumbass. And yesterday I woke up at like 5, and my dogs, I call them the girls, they got me up. The girls, and they woke me up, of course. My little baby Luna's kicking me in the face, just bah, bah, bah. And then she wants breakfast 5:30 to 6 a.m. Wants it, needs it.
It's because she knew it was Chunky Shrapnel Day. She's like, wake up, Dad. You know what time it is?
Bro, it's 3 p.m. would be the time that I get it. Let me sleep till 9.
You got a pregame, dude. You gotta hit the ball. You gotta
I know. I had that whole night. So I woke up, and then I was like physically in a wreck, mentally like, fuck life right now. So I let the girls out, did the whole thing. I couldn't go back to sleep. I was in a bad mood. And then I got to a place where it was like 2:30. And I was like, bro, I'm just going to go take a nap. I'm not going to force myself to watch something in a bad mood. And then
it isn't fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the movie. Yeah, I get that.
It's not fair to the artist that put it all together. The band, the guys who directed it, the editor, all that stuff. I'm going in a bad mood, and that sucks. So I didn't. I waited, took a nap, woke up, smoked a bunch of weed. I watched some South Park. I drank some whiskey. And then I made myself a fat old fashioned, a good decent cup, and then I sat in here, got my old legal pad out, got the notepad going, and then I was like, "Let's go, dude! Let's go to work."
There we go.
And then I went on, dude. What about you, dude? How did you start it? Did you watch it right away, or did you give it a little air?
I attempted to watch it right away. Then it was like, and I know a lot of listeners right now felt this. It was like Vimeo was like, your payment is being processed or whatever. And I'm like, I'm looking at 6:15. I'm like, what's going on, Vimeo? Figure it out. Give me more time to chug beer. I was drinking IPAs. You know what I mean? I was in no rush. You had 24 hours. I didn't have to be the first one to see it. I just wanted to see it. You know what I mean? It wasn't a big deal.
Were you solo?
Yeah, I sure was.
Yeah. I kept thinking, I was like, this would be so much more fun if I was with Trees watching this right now.
I know, man.
A lot more fun. And I was like, yeah, I'll go into detail a little later on, but I was just like, dude, this would be so much more fun if I was with Trees kicking it right now. We were drunk and like,
doing the damn thing.
Stony baloneyed. It would be fun. Yeah, it would be fun, dude. But it was a lot of it was, yeah, it was like writing on a notepad. You know what I mean? I'm like looking for discussion topics and stuff like that and things to bust open.
The movie,
yeah.
I wanted to do like a little like watch party thing or whatever, but it's all like a quarantine world right now. Like there's no, it was just a little solo fun.
That, and I didn't want to get dipped. I kept thinking about this back and forth. I didn't want to get pulled off the internet. It's the reason why we're not going to have any clips. There's a reason that they're only having it available for a certain amount of time, and they're not going to let people put this shit online like that for free. So like, sure. I don't want us to get kicked for that thing.
It's funny you mentioned
mistake.
Literally minutes before us recording, I posted. I took a video of like the last minute of Hell, and it looked awesome. And I posted it on the GizzVerse page.
Yeah.
It lasted 5 minutes before it was like, you need to remove this. It has been blocked, and you need to remove this. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
okay.
And we didn't even talk about that ahead of time, but that totally makes a lot of sense. Like, you didn't even tell me that, and I already knew not to put stuff on this video because
it was gone.
Shit. So it's like, so we're on the same. It's crazy, dude. Like, it sucks, but I'm not a fan. Let's just start off by talking about the obvious thing that we should talk about. I'm not a fan of how they released it. I'm not a fan on the format that they released it on. I'm not a fan of like the amount that they charged, and I'm definitely not a fan that you didn't get to keep it. Like, I don't own that now. I rented it. I Redboxed it for one day for $10, and it's not like I could Redbox it whenever I want. I had then their 20s, like, what? I mean, were you guys just trying to pay off taxes or something? Like, what a bizarre way to set that up. I have no idea, but I'm not a fan of it at all for the consumer side of it. Like, I'm a good Gizzard fan. I buy all their shit. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm not afraid to throw money at them, but this is the first time where I was like, bro, what? I felt obligated to do it because of this podcast, obviously, and I'm a fan, and there's nothing else better to fucking do for an hour and a half. But still, I was trepidatious about the whole thing. It's like, I don't like this. Do I want to support something I don't like? I was a little bit in my head about it because I'm such a don't let people tell you what to do mentality.
Right.
I was like I almost coaxed myself into not watching it. It was interesting.
Well, and you mentioned loyal fans, like, and we ain't the only ones, man. Like, Gizzard, when they release an album,
are they mad about it?
I've only heard very little grief. I saw a pretty funny meme. It was like, I don't know if you remember that scene with Ambrose where there's like a statue and he goes and sits on the statue's lap.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Somebody posted an image of that with like, it said coronavirus and me broke during the pandemic or something like that. You know, like. Yes, and some guy was like, man, hope you guys are enjoying the movie. I'm over here broke as hell, you know? So I felt bad that some people literally couldn't afford to see it. That's lame. And, I mean, King Gizzard, it's like, when you're a fan, dude, it's like, they're getting your dough. They do a good job at it, and we're gladly pay it. So I do have to agree with you, which it's $10. It's not like, we're here scrounging nickels and dimes to get it or whatever. But for
you and I,
exactly, luckily, But for what it was, considering how many live King Gizzard videos are on YouTube readily available at any time, I was a little
it's a great point.
You know what I mean? I was particularly a little perturbed by that, a little bit.
All the KEXP performances are free and available whenever you want them, and dude, guess what? They amount to about an hour and a half. All of them
Yeah.
put together, they amount to about that. So
Now,
it is.
do you see that? Do you see that as a reason to be like, okay, well, yeah, there's 600 live Gizzard sets on YouTube. So if you got to pay $10 for one, of like their greatest hits of the European tour, deal with it. I guess I could see it from that perspective also.
Yeah, maybe if it was a live album, if it was a truly live album video film of the live album, whatever you want to call that, I would agree with you, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a lot of stuff that I didn't care about. I don't click on their Instagram stories every 2 days. You know what I mean? I don't really give a shit about that. I like the mystique of King Gizzard. I don't want to know about them too much, like their personal lives. I really don't. I'm not a fan of that. I like rock mystique of like, they get up on stage. These are some hard demon motherfuckers. And then when you see them off stage, it's like, no, they're not. They're normal dudes and
having a good old time.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's. Look, dude. I mean, I love art, all aspects of it, but it's really. I was telling you this earlier in comparison to wrestlers. It's like when we were kids and you believed that The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were who they were. It's like,
and they hated each other to death.
There was nothing like that time in your life. There really was nothing like
right.
it. Where people would tell you stuff was fake, and it's like you didn't believe them, even though people told you. Like adults were like, "Bro, it's not real." It's like, shut up, man. Like, have you ever been rock bottom,
dude.
bro? You ever been rock bottom? All right, then, man.
Hurts like hell.
Shut your mouth, jabroni. Shut your mouth. All right. I'm getting animated. My mic's falling everywhere. And when you start knowing too much about the guys like that, where there's a wall of mystique in front of them,
right?
I don't know. I think it can be a bad thing.
Well, and that's an interesting concern, complaint, whatever you want to call it, because it's particularly yours. Like I'm sure some people, that's what they were looking for. You know what I mean? That's exactly, they wanted to see the most human version of King Gizzard, like what it's like. Man, what is it like to be on that stage? Like, what are they seeing when we're just losing our minds in the audience? Like what happens backstage, kind of thing. And
I was so like, I don't know if this is because I've performed before. I was not thinking that. I wasn't
concerned about it.
No, I've been around artists in the backstage. I've been around, and I haven't been around King Gizzard, and so I'm sure that's a whole other riot and a whole other jam thing and stuff like that. But like, I look at a stage, I look at a crowd of people, and I'm like, bro, I want to fucking do that. I'm not looking at. I know this sounds so fucking arrogant. I'm not trying to make it sound arrogant. I just don't give a shit about that part of their lives. I want the show. I want to just see the show. And I felt like that movie was a great opportunity to put together their show, to show you how dope they can be live, and to make a movie out of it. So you edit all the like tiny little fat that's there, and you could show a live thing. I'm not saying don't show the backstage antics. You can still include it, but
of course.
Primarily, I want to see fucking music played live. Show me the background. Those cameras did a great way of picking up the background.
Yes,
that was
trippiness
cool. That was going on.
It was very cool. On
top of the stuff that was happening, and it was all well put together when they were filming the live music aspect. All my issues were the choice of songs that they had, and yeah, well, we'll get into that stuff. But yeah, I mean, to be full, just right up front with you guys right away, and I really was hesitant on just saying this, but like I didn't start enjoying that movie till like 45 minutes in, maybe longer. It took a while for me to like really enjoy what was going on, because I just kept writing shit down. I was like, really? I'll write a note and then it'll say really right behind it. Like it blows my mind that was the choice,
Okay.
Give me feedback. How do you feel?
I'd be lying if I said I disagree with you all around. I'd be lying. I think we had the first initial thought of like, man, they're really showing the whole river, huh? They're going to do the whole river right now, and they're going to move that into Wawa and Road Train, which
Talked
visually,
about that so many times,
which visually was very cool. And you mentioned this, like the river. If there's one jam, if you've seen King Gizzard, you've probably seen it more than once. Also, you've seen the river. So like amazing classic Giz tune, but for that being the title, for that being the opening track of the album Chunky Shrapnel, and then the movie starting with it. So then I think, okay, so the movie and the album are literally the same thing. They're going to intertwine them, do the same thing. But then you saw things like Rattlesnake in there. Rattlesnake's not on the album. They did like a little, like that Rattlesnake Boogie, which I thought was good. They needed to do that.
Yeah,
I had my concerns about that.
Sure.
I had my concerns about that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't disagree with you, but I am kind of on that side of I do want to see the behind the scenes. I want to see what else these cats are doing. And
I know that you do. You're a guy that follows them on Instagram and will click their stories to see what they're doing. And I'm okay with that. I really am. I just feel like it was a little misrepresented, maybe. Maybe I went into it going, oh, dope, this is going to be we're going to see a live show of King Gizzard, a best of. Chris Rock did this, where he took, like, clips. He went on massive tour, filmed it all, and just took clips and put it all together. Right. I thought it was going to be that. I was like, fucking sick, daddy. And it was that with the director's, like, trippy little artsy stuff in between. And I was like, bro, this isn't, what's going on right now? Like, I don't care about this shit, man. Like, I'm not talking about Ambrose sitting on the statue. I'm talking about the weird, trippy, ambient things that were, like, intentionally trying to make it look like the 60s and, like, oh man, these guys, you know, like, to make it look like the film was older.
Right.
They added effects.
Like Polaroid, old school.
Come on, dude, you're really taking me out of this, man. Like, it's not. You can't play Planet B and then put that shit on it. And then make it trippy in 60s, man. Like, no, dude. Listen to the fucking... I feel like you're not listening to the songs, or you don't know the band that well, or something like that. My issues with the movie were not about King Gizzard. All my issues that were about to go down... it's really about the director, the editing choices, and the filmmaker. It's like, bro, I disagree with you strongly. I've been in editing base and I've been behind cameras before, and I would have done something massively different. And I think it was more about him than it was about King Gizzard. And I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid
to say that.
He wanted to show what he could do, and it's like, that's not what that's supposed to be about, bro. Like, and the parts that we did get to see behind, I think were inappropriate on certain levels that, like, in my eyes as an artist, like, I don't, like, maybe they were down for that shit to be out there,
right,
with them talking, but, like,
which I'm sure they had to be. I mean, there's no way they wouldn't, you know, they didn't see it before. They had to okay all that, obviously. Yeah, but
the merch conversation,
interesting, huh?
I thought it was Portianis. That's bad. What? Why do you want that on camera, bro? Why do we want to know how much you guys are making off those t-shirts? That's bizarre that, like, you want us to know that. And then I go into that mind cycle of, like, you just said that, like, you doubt that they would not, they probably approved everything that was on there. So if that's the case, it's like, why do you want that out there, bro? That's bizarre that you would want that sentence out there, because you know people are going to fucking, like, hang on to that. That's going to be a piece of conversation at least.
But oh man, I feel that. But also, that's the financial aspect of King Gizzard is the thing I've always been curious about, and I don't want to handle the truth about it. So it being in the face and them talking, I was like, I don't know. It's funny because I've always been so interested in it, yet I didn't really want to know about it.
It's none of our business, bro. It's like finding out Joe Rogan's a bajillionaire. It kind of changes your viewpoint on him a little bit. And, like, you don't want to know how much tickets are and how much, like, do the math and how much Joe's making. Do the math on how much any of your favorite artists is making, and it kind of turns your stomach a little bit in the wrong direction. It definitely, I mean, I like that they're making money. I just don't want to hear about it, bro. I don't want to fucking hear about it. When people start telling me about their money, it's like, dude, I would never do that to somebody, ever. Because it's weird. It's a weird thing to do. Dude, they move merch. They sell out T-shirts every show.
Right.
Every show. They're gone. Bing! They got extra larges. That's it. That's all they have left. And they just, those ones they sell out in between then and the next show online.
Or girls turn them into dresses. You know what I mean? So, it's beautiful. Bingo all around. It's wonderful.
The posters. $10, $20 a pop. Then they get resold online for $400 a pop. It's like, fuck, man. Money.
And And if this was a Travis
It would be
Scott
so
movie,
funny. I don't mean to interrupt you. It'd be so funny if Eric Moore had like fake eBay accounts and he was the one selling the posters online for like $500. But bro,
I would support that even more.
Funniest shit on the planet, bro.
Well, what I was saying about the financial thing, it's like if this was like a Travis Scott documentary, if it was about like a famous hip hop artist,
T. Scott.
Like half of the intrigue to them is how successful they are. So you're like, you want their swag. You like aspire to be that successful in things. With Gizzard, like when we found Gizzard, dude, it was like, damn, this is the most beautiful, trippy music I've ever heard. Money was the complete opposite of what I ever thought of when I heard King Gizzard first,
Rap is weird like that because they're talking about their lives so much and it's so personal based. And a lot of it is boasting about dough.
Of course, yeah.
Even if they don't have it, they're like, I'm fucking rich, I'm paid. So that's so embedded into that type of music. Like you said, it's massively different with King Gizzard. That is not their goal. Is to be like, yo, we fucking rich. Like they're not trying to do that.
Right.
In their music, at least.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's not the vibe I'm picking up, at least. But yeah. So man, these are our opening thoughts. Damn, huh? Look at us.
A little weird. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna go down my note skis here. Yeah. I thought the intro took too long. It was the trailer. We already saw it. Don't need to see it again. It was like 10 minutes of that intro thing again, and then the river, which is like 11, 13 minutes with other stuff in it as well. I know that.
Wow, Road Train.
Just a lot, man. A lot of like too much river. And the other songs were parts of them, and we got the full boat on the river ride, baby.
On the river ride.
And then we were listening.
It's not. Sorry to interrupt you.
I don't care. I keep interrupting you. I feel like a jackass.
Listeners, you're listening to two spoiled King Gizzards fans that have seen them many, many times. If you've never seen King Gizzard, if you live in like a country or state that they don't come through, and maybe you open up this and you saw the river opening, you're like, this is heaven. I've always wanted to see what it was like live. I get that. Tommy and I have seen the river. How many times do you think? 6, 7 times?
Bajillion. And then you've put the times we've seen it online, the times we've seen it in the videos, and
in the KEXP,
the times we've heard it on vinyl, the times we've heard it on chilling in the car. Dude, so many fucking times, bro. So many fucking. That is an old song at this point, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
And then you don't put a brand new album. And I was going to save this little bombshell for the last, but I'll talk about it now and later. You don't put Fishing for Fishies on any part of that fucking, like any of it, and a jam, a little tiny fuck around part. None of it.
A little Boogeyman Sam. Just like a taste.
I was genuinely upset. That was the outcome where we take 11 minutes for the river. And then we don't give 4 minutes to a boogie of your choosing. There's a lot of boogies. Side Boogie is
boogies.
Everybody likes Side Boogie. Okay, there can be a controversy with some of the other boogies, whatever. But everybody likes Side Boogie. Everybody. You drop that crowd's going nuts. And you don't fucking. I was so mad, man. I was so upset with it. I was like questioning so much about how much I like this band and stuff like that. It was really fucking with me. It's like, dude, I like Fishing for Fishies, but I seem to be the only person that likes Fishing for Fishies. It drives me nuts. I don't get any shout outs for it. Nobody's like, yo, bro, I fucking totally agree, man. I love Fishing for Fishies too. Nobody. And so I feel really alone in that album. I have it signed by them. I don't know. It's a really magical album for me. And it sucks. It sucks never seeing it live and never, I feel like Stu hates that album or some shit. And when I asked him about it, I felt like he didn't like it even then. And then it just kind of reiterated it. And I said that on our podcast too. So I don't know. It was a disappointing thing at that point because then they go into this like 4-minute mic check part where Stu's just going, check the mic, check for 4 minutes, bro. They're doing their sound check. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about this, man. Like, for $10, this is not what you should be selling people, dude. Like, this is a bad choice. And like I said, guys, for the first 45 minutes, there's like in 3. I don't want to show because I don't want to show all my notes, but
I actually want to see this, man.
I'm fucking bored in the middle of it. Right there, dude. I'm fucking bored. I wrote it right in the middle of it. I was losing my mind. I was like, I am fucking bored right now. Why am I watching this? And I was 2 whiskeys deep, ready to have a good time.
Ready to cut loose.
It got to Vomit Coffin, and I was like, for real? For real? We're going to watch Vomit Coffin? Like, we're going to watch... They play during Vomit Coffin. They don't sing during Vomit Coffin. It's not really a song. It's just kind of like this trippy thing that happens in the middle of their show. Again, which is why I think they should have just filmed a whole live show and painted the picture. You put Vomit Coffin in the middle of nowhere like that, it makes 0 sense. Why that song is dope is it matches up with the last song that they played and the next song that they played. And it fits perfectly. Yeah. And you're just like, because they'll do it in the middle of a hard fucking, everyone's like trashed and just crazy mosh, and then they'll slow it down, but it's still like a hardcore fucking, it's still fucking lit. So like, it all goes, man. And when you just put it there like that and just sandwich it, again, this isn't my complaint with King Gizzard. It's my complaint with the filmmaker. That's a bad choice. It is a bad choice. And I wish I could have been there in the editing bay. I told myself I wouldn't get this amped. I'm letting myself get way more amped than I wanted to about this. But
well,
yeah.
This is something that we've talked about this on the podcast before, where like we like their albums so hard that sometimes our podcast can be like, man, this song was really great. Well, the next one was even better. Yeah, but not as good as the next song coming up. So we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to Gizzard. We owe it to these lovely listeners to be candid, be incredibly real with it, man. We got to.
That's fair. I appreciate that. Sense was dope. Speaking of real, that was
a cool little vibe. That was a cool little vibe they did.
But then what happened? Like 2 minutes into the song, they shut it off and they started going. And they went into the backstage, and the guy was like, "Nah, I'm gonna trip out with the camera now, man. I'm gonna do wild stuff." And then we went backstage, and then that was it. I was like, bro, I wanted to hear that song, man. You know how many live recordings of that song there are? Good recordings? Like,
not a lot.
Yeah. One. That's it. You have a chance to do something cool with that track, and then they blew it. I felt like.
So you said you were 45. What was the standout? What was the Bob that you were like, yo, yes?
Okay, so I'm going to keep going down my list here. Posters were sick. I thought the part with Jason Galea was awesome, showing him signing it and him just kind of being like creepy little dude. I love that.
What a boss.
Planet B was lit. That whole sequence of Infest was just dope. It was dope. I like those songs live a lot more than I like them on the record. I think their hard stuff is better live. It's easier on an album to make because they're so sounding, that it's easier for their softer tracks to come through the intricacies of it. But when you see them live and they're hard shit, it's like, holy fuck, that's a really
hard shit.
Yeah, that song is so intricate because you see the work that the drummers are doing. You see the bass, you see the guitar kicking it, and just how everybody's playing different shit, but it's all going together and they're all in synchrony perfectly together. It's you need to see the hard stuff live to give it pure goldness, and it paid off in that film. And I was listening to headphones all the way turned up and jamming, dude. Jamming. I was like, fuck yeah, motherfucker.
Jamming.
And then they went behind stage again, and then I wrote, I'm fucking bored. And then underneath that, I wrote, man, this would be really cool if I was chilling with trees.
Boy?
Yeah. And then they replayed the intro part in the middle of the fucking film. Did you notice that?
Replayed the intro part.
Yeah, so that intro drum solo,
yeah,
in the middle of it, they replayed that. So there's like 2 to 3 minutes that is replayed from the beginning in the middle of the movie.
I don't really recall that.
I recalled it because I rewound it and double checked.
Whoa.
Same sequence. I was at this point I was still in like a weird do I like this enough to review it? Like, should I go ham? Should I review it if I'm not like enjoying it? And then what happened? Ambrose came on and just wrecked the fucking house, man. He wrecked the fucking house.
Stole the show.
Damn, bro, that's my boy, dude, and this is why I like him. This is why he's my guy.
That was, dude, such a slugger, bro. That was so good. That was the highlight for me, 100%.
Yeah, you got to see who he is. and him as a frontman is dope.
It's a beautiful thing, man. He's good at that. Yes. We've talked about in previous podcasts that we worry about Ambrose's level of like interest in Gizzard sometimes. You know what I mean? Because he'll be over there shaking his maraca, but then you see him on Murlocs and he's insane. He's dressed like Julius Caesar. He's jumping in the crowd, you know?
Got makeup on.
That, yeah, dude, he's going crazy, you know? So seeing that, or like sometimes the camera pans over to Ambrose, he's just hair shaking. He's just having a good old time. I'm like, okay, cool. As long as my boy's happy, rock and roll, man. Rock and roll.
Yeah. But that was the turning point for me. That's why I was rushing through all that other stuff. That was the big turning point of like, I started getting chills. I was like, okay, here we go now. And then I started really coming to all these conclusions of like, this should have been just music. We do not need to see the artsy behind the scenes bullshit put that at the end, make it extras, extra scenes and clips and stuff like that. But give me the fucking live. I paid $10. Give me their live shit, dude. Like, I kept and I'm not a person that's like, whatever, money's money. I came from a broke ass family, dude. I came from a blue collar household. Not to say I'm still not a blue collar household, but like I came from that. So like $10 is $10, bro. And if you're selling me your product, I have the right to complain about it regardless.
In the middle of a global pandemic.
Especially if it's art. I get to have my opinion about it. So I'm also trying to keep that in mind. What a waste of about 45 minutes worth of film, brother. A fat waste of like, what are you doing, man? Why do you want to show us how cool your stuff is? Like, I clicked this because of King Gizzard, not because of Eric Moore's discussion on merch and their artsy behind the stage antics of drinking beer. And like, I didn't need to see Ambrose say, that was fun 8 times. I didn't need that. I could have taken one of those.
Cute.
It's cute. Yep. For Instagram, where it's free. And everybody can see it. But when you're charging people, asking them to become a member of this app, and then they got to put their credit card information into it and then buy it, come on, dude. I think that's bullshit. I really do think it's bullshit. But once again, King Gizzard comes to save the fucking day, dude. And it was cool.
Dropping the hammer.
However, I will say it was cool to see that they were excited about venues. They were like, oh, this is sick. Oh, man, this is dope.
I love that. No, I'm so cool with that. Yes.
I was cool with that too, because like I do that more than anything is my question about King Gizzard. It's like, do they know how dope they are? Do they know how rare this is? Like how in today's era, a rock band that they're like kind of unknown gets to do these gigantic things, these huge venues. Do they know how sick it is? Oh yeah, they do. Oh yeah, they do.
And that's kind of what I was hoping more from Chunky Shrapnel. Is like, if you remember that that like bootleg from hell they did a few years ago, which is just like them at shows, like kind of murky shows, and then it's them really behind I'm not that interested in like what they talk about immediately after the show. Like they're just pumped and they're sweaty and whatever. I more want to see like them making the songs, them like on the buses going to driving to place, just having like that those conversations, you know what I mean? Or like I don't know, just like putting songs together, coming up with the creative process. We didn't see any of that stuff.
Jay-Z's one with the Black Album, that was really sick. Like that.
I love that. Yes.
If we got something like that from King Gizzard, that would be awesome.
That's what I was expecting.
I would be okay with that too. If we got to get a glimpse into their next album through watching them kind of develop stuff from behind the stage while they tour, and then we got mostly live music. This is, in my opinion, an hour and a half, an hour and 23 minutes, whatever, if you want to get specific. I think it should have been closer to the ratio of an hour of music being filmed and then 20 minutes of antics. And then that's it. That's it. 60 minutes. Give me 60 minutes of live footage of them performing. And it wasn't. It was like 50-50, dude. It was pretty gnarly in my opinion. It's like, you got to realize that you're not only putting stuff that's not terribly interesting out there, like the behind the scenes stuff. It's like you're putting it out there. There's no music being played. There's nothing really exciting going on. And then on top of that, you're putting stuff that no one really gives a shit about. You're not showing Stu developing a song, like you said. You're not showing Jason Galea draw an art piece.
I would have eaten that stuff up.
That would have been sick if we got to see
that up so much.
Eric and him kind of going over some design ideas and stuff like that. Bro, that would be lit. That's behind the scenes.
And like Cavs teaching Eric how to play the drums on certain songs and stuff like that. Yeah, it'd be so fun.
The coolest behind the scenes part that I consistently saw was Stonefield. Seeing Stonefield in there,
man.
I feel such an
girls are such
attachment
rockers.
for them. I know. I feel
Right?
such an attachment for them, and I'm like really. Every time I see them, I'm just like, oh, those are my girls. I'm rooting for them. Go get
Same.
them, girls.
Always,
Like, I'm
always.
always so
Yes.
happy for them, man. Like I'm
Yeah.
never. Yeah, it's crazy. So like seeing them at the end go up was like I got chills. I'm getting chills talking about it. We'll go over that in a second though. Because I want to give Joey. He could be Jewish. I don't really know. He's got curly hair. I gotta give Joey his props, man. The Polygon Wannaland stuff was where's the loyalty? Don't even get me started. Shut the fuck up. But oh my god.
Tommy? Oh my god.
I
Hey,
got
buddy.
called. Did you hear that?
Beep, 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 beep.
The ringing? That was my brother calling me. He wants to play video games right now, guys.
Jerk.
But it happens in the sky. Hey, you know what? I'm pretty proud of us anyways because it's like you were saying earlier. There's a lot of like ESPN, Jimmy Fallon. This is how
They're all doing it.
They're all doing this. What we're doing right now.
Struggling.
We don't have a delay. You know, our audio sounds pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
We're great.
I like it.
yeah.
And my brother calls me once. Come on. Remember, guys, before he was calling me 800 million times all the time.
Yeah.
And now he's texting the shit out of me. He's checking in on me for some reason. So, yeah, right. That's a sneak attack. He just wants to check in on me.
See if you're all right, man.
Call of Duty, bro. Wants to play some
If you're
Duty.
all right, I guess you can play some games. You know what I mean?
But yeah, Joey's Polygon Wannaland was incredible.
I was thinking of you during this. I was like, okay, this is Tommy's vibing to this.
Right after the Ambrose thing, so it was like that. They got me in with the Ambrose. Then Joey came on and just ripped it, and I was like, "Fuck, man, Joey is so sick, dude. Joey is so motherfucking sick, man. He is such a sleeper because Stu is such a big personality, and he's. I don't think he's a better guitarist. I think Joey's a better guitarist, but Stu is the best musician in that band. I like guys that can play everything because I try to play everything. I'm like that. I like to fuck with all instruments and like they all bleed into each other weirdly, and then you find the thing that connects them and you just like abuse the shit out of that. As funny as that sounds, and like that becomes your little door into that next world.
Right.
And I love. I saw Stu play drums. He jumped on bass, jumped on
keyboard,
cool,
right?
jumped on guitar. He was playing everything. I was like,
sick.
This motherfucker right here, dude. He's got, I love that thing in the brain that's like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I love that. I feel that. And that's why I like Stu's songs so much. I really like King Gizzard. But Joey's the sleeper, man. Joey's so fucking good, and he writes such good music. His lyrics are the best out of everybody. He probably has the best lyrics. And fight me if you want to, but Ambrose sings the best. He has the best voice.
I don't think there's even.
But Joey has the best. Joey has the best lyrics of the band. Stu's great, but Joey has the best lyrics. Fight me though.
And like you said, that Stu has the personality. I think he's the bigger on stage personality. I think outside, if you look at anything on Instagram, anything Joey's hilarious. That dude's a maniac. Stu's not that. He's not the like animated crazy guy, except on stage, you know. So I am surprised we don't see more Joey stuff, but I'm glad he got his nice little block in Chunky Shrapnel because he did. He was rocking out. That being said, I know this was probably around your favorite thing. I'm good on retiring my Polygon Wanderlands live stuff. Seen it, bro. I'm over it.
I've been on that, dude. I've been on retiring a lot of shit. I think they should just be playing the Infest and Fishing for Fishy stuff. That's it. That's all they should be fucking with right now. There should be like very little jammy stuff that's brought back from the past. Like I've said this on the podcast, and some people don't like it, but I don't really give a shit. If you haven't seen them yet, that's your fucking problem, dude. Like that ain't my fault. I don't want to see River anymore, dude. It's $30 to $60 a ticket, bro. Like I've seen it, man. Like let me see new shit. You guys didn't go. That's not my fault, okay? This ain't Britney Spears, bro. This ain't Mariah Carey.
They're not that innocent, okay?
Well, I'm saying they're a new band coming out with new stuff. So, like, when you go see Mariah Carey, you're going to see her old shit.
Always be my baby.
She's not writing shit. You know, when you go see The Boss, you're not going to catch his new album. You know what I mean?
Yay.
Like, come on. You want to hear the fucking tunes, man. So, when Gizzard's there, it's like, they're still a new band. They're not on their retirement tour. Why are they playing like it? and this is unfair because I always compare them with comedy because it's like I write to them. I'll have that music while I write. It's my inspiration. So it's a very close knitted world for me. I think, are looking at certain songs like closers and openers and like jokes that they cannot absolutely do without. And it's like, guys, I've seen your show too many times. I need new jokes. I need new jokes, man. I know you got them. And the way that it can compare, because music and jokes are obviously very different. You can listen to music a billion times and get something new out of it every time you listen to it, all that jazz. However, if you watch King Gizzard live, and this is my whole point to them, it should have just been a full sequence of them playing live instead of like cut up. Watching them live, a full performance, it's a piece of art, man. They put it together very meticulously, and it comes on over a course of time. It's not like they just write the set and it's like, all right, it's perfect. No, they play it, work stuff out, play it the next night, work stuff out, play it the next night. And dude, you might not get that perfect set until 20 shows into that tour. Yeah. But then when you do, bust out that camera, because that's what we should have recorded, and they didn't. It mind blows me. Dude. I don't understand. Yeah. Anyways, I really think at this point, Polygon should be gone. Nonagon should be gone. All the River stuff obviously should be gone. Anything from Quarters, rather.
It's tough, man. I think because I agree with you, yet I don't in the same.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's bad.
Of course, it's not bad. They don't do bad shit. You won't catch them with that. But I think of their Desert Days marathon set, or excuse me, they call it the Turbo set. I think that it's like it was a dive into the GizzVerse. So Jason Galea, particularly with the visuals, is painting the story of the history of King Gizzard, basically. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna dive in where you get the little riff of a little robot stop riff, you get the rattlesnake going, a little it's like I do like, because I mean they're oldies or goldies, more like it. You know what I mean? But I think at this juncture, yeah, you got to stick with the new. But then we're talking about Polygon Wonderland like it came out 10 years ago. You know, where this is what. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know, I'm kind of all over the place.
I will say this. So, and I don't want to jump, but when Rattlesnake came on, well, it's like pretty close. Yeah, it's like right there. So, I just want to say this about Loyalty before we jump into Rattlesnake. When Loyalty came on, I felt Thanos. Like, I know it's about God, but then I was like, man, but this is so like Thanos from Marvel, obviously. There's so many characters in the superhero supervillain universe that feel godlike. They're bigger. It's like, holy shit, this guy's powers are that next level where he's a god. But that's really them just like defining it. So let's define of what that song, who that song's about, rather. Where's the loyalty? Who's that song's about? I just imagine Thanos, and that's how he felt through the whole thing. If like, where's the loyalty? I'm doing this for you guys, and it brought such new light, and so I had like a little cartoon going in my head. It was so fucking tight, man. That song, Polygon, is, oh man, Fishing for Fishies and Polygon. Those are the best. Those are the best albums. Those are so fun. If you want to know how I feel about King Gizzard, those are my favorite albums, and those are the greatest ones, man. Those are so meticulously written. They are all very thematic, So, anyways, jumping ship here on that last thought. Rattlesnake, when that came on, I was kind of mad. I was like, what? We're going to end this on Rattlesnake, guys?
We talking Rattlesnake?
I didn't know at first. I didn't know it was a jam. I didn't know what was going to happen. Obviously, that all was awesome. That was all fucking dope what happened. But before that happened, before anybody came on stage and all the cool wave stuff was going on and they were just kind of jamming still, I had this like sideways thought to myself as I was thinking like, bro, you're going to go with Rattlesnake? That's fucking lame. I was like, bro, what was the first song that brought you into King Gizzard, man? What was your first one that you remember that like you fucking love to this day, dude? I'll toss that fucking song on and jam the whole goddamn track, bro. I love that fucking song. And then that voice told the other voice to shut the fuck up. It was like, yeah,
take it easy, Mr. Nostalgia. Get over it.
No. Not the nostalgia voice told the other the grumpy
word.
voice to shut the fuck up. The nostalgia voice is like, bro, Rattlesnake is sick. Okay, Rattlesnake is dope. That's why they had to put that jam in there. They realized that it brought a whole gigantic cut of fan base into them. That was a big part of that movement, was Rattlesnake. And
the album cover to Chunky Shrapnel is the snakes. It's like 7 snakes intertwined or whatever. And somebody posted on it because the set list, there's no rattlesnake on the set list. And it's like, I see the snake, but where's the rattle? You know, and I was like, ooh. I was like, yo, for real. Like, you can't be, this is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. You could throw a croc. You could throw a lizard on there. You can't throw snakes and not throw a rattlesnake in the mix, man. That doesn't make sense to me.
So it's cool that they ended on that. And they brought, of course, Stonefield. Orb came out.
Orb's out there. Yo, how hard... I'm very sorry for the listeners right now. The Traffic Island homie, Orb homie, lead singer. How hard do they fuck with that guy, man? That dude is like, it's incredible to me he's not in King Gizzard.
They gave him like a 3 to 4 minute segment, and I was just like, damn, bro. Like, I don't. And by the way, him playing acoustic guitar, I was like, oh shit, he's a good musician.
He truly is, man.
It was the first time that I got to see it. It was the first time I got to see it because he's playing that weird shit all the time. It
feels like he tones himself down a little bit almost, which is very unusual.
I think he likes that style. I think he's going for a very specific tone, and that's why he has the drummer that he has, and he has the bassist that he has. I think it's all deliberate. He could easily be fucking with more talented guys, and he's
painting a picture.
He's a more talented dude than what he's giving into his songs. I know that sounds fucked up, but like, I just don't fuck with Orb as much, you know. And I agree with you. When they were showing him play acoustic, I was like, that was the first thought that I had. I was like, damn, they fuck with this dude. And then they were hugging him at the end. Joey came over, Eric came over, Ambrose with him. It's pretty wild, dude. It's pretty wild.
It is pretty wild. Yeah, there's a lot of love in that little Flightless family, which is great. And I think it's very evident with that last little groove that they do. It's like, they're sick. How could they? They're not mad at a thing. I'm sure it's great. I like that last boogie. I'm curious how that's going to sound on the record itself. You know, because it was kind of long too. That was a good portion of the flick. So I'm curious about that.
That I understood. That was like that was the dopest part of the whole thing. So I get that you need to put that at the end. But
yeah,
just the structure of it. I really wish I could have sent an email or something.
Somebody needs to hear about this, man. This is getting...
I'm just like, bro, we need to put more live stuff on here. And it's just, if we're going to be charging people this much, make it 2 hours or something, man. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, bro. Give me a 4 hour, just a crazy marathon of stuff going on, right?
Here's what I feel. It's like you're charging people $10. At least 100,000 people bought it, minimum, I think.
You think so? Man, I wonder.
Bro, I think it's close to 1 million. It would blow your fucking mind. They definitely... shit right now, man. That's a lot of fucking money that just got popped off right there. It's a lot of money. And I'm not bashing that, but if you're making that much money, I hope the product's good. And frankly, all it did was motivate me to not purchase another movie if they put it out. So, I mean, it really was more like that. I was like, oof, I don't know if I'm going down this rabbit hole again. I don't want to watch the director's take on whatever. I really wasn't digging that. I could have done without that. I liked how he directed their live shows. I liked how he filmed it. I just wish he would have stayed on the live tip more. Yeah,
that was fun. I liked. There was plenty of songs I was grooving I mean, you were referring to like the Vomit Coffin. That's like the Murder the Universe little trend. I love them doing Murder the Universe live, man. That shit rocks my world for whatever. No lyrics, just Stu was in there and he's playing the guitar, he's spraying down the guitar, he's got it back here, just jamming. Like, that's my jam. So that I really enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yep. Infest, he likes Murder of the Universe and Infest stuff. He's a big fan of all that kind of. Yeah, that's his shit. And there's no Gizzard without Stu. So no. My issue is that like me and Stu like two different kinds of songs that they make. We really do. It's fucking crazy. And it's like the further down the road that we go, the more that seems to be the case. Where like I like some of their other shit. And I'm not saying I don't like Infest the Rat's Nest. That's just not my go-to album by any means, and neither is Murder of the Universe. Murder of the Universe, I will grab songs off that and play it. I'm not listening to the whole fucking thing. 100%. And I'm definitely not listening to Vomit Coffin.
Vomit Coffin.
I'm not. Those are not the songs that I'm listening to, bro. So like that says a lot, a lot about me as a consumer of them. And there was a time where like I fucking loved that type of music in my life, but I've just, dude, I'm more into the bluesy type stuff. I'm more into their other more complicated lyric stuff.
Kind of whack, yeah,
man, the trippier shit and the I don't know. I'm contradicting myself in my head because it's like, bro, Mars from the Rich.
That's what King Diz, dude. Oh my god,
that song's lit,
Take
bro.
my
but
money,
like,
man.
I remember on the podcast, I'll never forget me saying that it's like, I hate the lyrics, and then like the other day I was listening to it and I was like, bro, the lyrics are sick, man. So I don't know, it's so like back and forth with me sometimes with them, and their heavier shit has me flipping back and forth more. It's like mood dependent for me, maybe.
For sure.
And most of their songs in their catalog are not mood dependent. I could just put them on and that puts my mood. That's the thing that dictates my mood. But their heavy shit, it like, oh my god, what the fuck? That noise,
noise. And that's the interesting, dude. Every King Gizzard fan is so individual. I got a buddy who I'm sure is Felipe. What up, baby boy? It's me. He just got into King Gizzard a couple weeks ago, okay? And he's starting from the beginning.
Tough life. That's a tough
life, right?
It's like, what do you do? Oh man, and he's got to pick his path, man.
You know what? He's already picked it. He's already picked it, man. Oddments is like, it's okay. I'm in your mind, folks. It's okay. He is stuck on Willoughby Beach, Angel Sea. He's into the beginning stuff. He likes that that like Black Tooth. All those are his jams. And the other stuff, he's like, okay, they get a little like off the rails as they get older. He's like, I'm trying to get into it, but I really like the original stuff. I was like,
I've never heard that before. That's wild.
Dude, I know very few people that like their very early stuff, not so much the other stuff. Like the in-between. But the in-between, that's where they got everybody. Between I'm in Your Mind Fuzz and like Nonagon Infinity, Oddments, I feel like that got everybody. I don't know what gives a fan that doesn't like that stuff. Which is why I mess with Infest the Rat's Nest, because it feels like the next level of live show from Nonagon Infinity. Because that's what we fell in love to, man. I know I'm speaking for you here, but that Robot Stop, Gamma Knife, People Vultures, that was it, dude. Like I was like, this is the best band on the planet. Like this is it,
Confirm.
Right? So, man, it's like, I guess you would have to amp it up. You can't go back, so to speak. So maybe it's like the thrash. We didn't vibe to the thrash growing up, man. We were not so much like the thrash metal dudes. Punk. Oh, didn't mention this. Joey bumping Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Backstage. Yo, I
thought about you immediately. Like, I thought about you immediately. Yeah. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. It's fucking sick. That was sick.
I was like, he's talking about punk rock. I'm like, man, these are my boys. It's like they're listening to filthy punk rock that so many people hate, by the way, at this point. Sex Pistols especially. And he's talking about how this is some like the best punk that he knows. And I'm like, whoa, these guys just groove, man. So I think it's literally a groove by groove basis with them. It's like, yo, I've been listening to a lot of Ty Segall. Oh yeah, and the OC is cool. Let's make an I'm in Your Mind Fuzz. Like that. They're all generated from what they listen to.
Bye, Brian.
Hello, can you hear me? Bye, Brian.
I couldn't agree more with you. I couldn't agree more with you. I think they are vibe basis. I just think and again, this would be what I would consider to be behind the scenes stuff, is if they maybe film them discussing the sets, film them discussing what they want to play, and maybe somebody being like, oh, no, I don't feel like playing that. Dude.
Yes, dude, I would love that.
Come on. I want to know that stuff. I want to know who's picking that shit. Who's designing the sets? Who is it? I want to know. Everybody wants to know. And that piece of information is still a mystery, even though I just paid $10 fucking dollars. Okay? You're not going to give it to me, even though I'm forking you over that money to figure that out. You're still like, nah. We're just going to show you some random ass people, by the way, that aren't in the fucking band. We're just going to show you them behind the stage. It's like, who gives a fuck about these people, dude? Who cares? No offense, people that are in it, and you're stoked that you're in it. I'm sure you're fucking excited.
We love you guys. Yeah, there's no problem. It's just,
awesome for you, but
awesome
I don't
for you.
care. I want to know who writes the sets. I want to know who hates playing that song. I want to know if Joey's like, bro, come on, dude. I want to sing, like, you're singing all the tracks tonight, dog. Like,
Let me do it, bro.
Or if Stu's like, man, I don't feel like singing all the tracks tonight, man.
Joey,
Can you
bro.
guys, like, kick it up, man? Like, let's go, dude. And Joey's like, oh, fine, man, I'll do it. Like, is it, which way? I want to know. Is it none of that? Is it not a big deal at all? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I gotta, that stuff I want to know. And I think that's a lot more important than the shit that they showed.
So now, okay, to argue with you here.
Do it.
They were on Reddit for like 6 hours yesterday answering, we're answering everybody's questions. They got like thousands of questions, believe it or not.
And they get to choose which ones they answer.
Of course. And they answered pretty good ones. Like pretty solid. Stu referring to Crumbling Castle. That's still like is one of the favorite things that they do. He loves Crumbling Castles. They asked, this was kind of gut wrenching for me. I asked, didn't get answered. I'm like, yo, at Red Rocks, can we do like a 30-minute pipe-eye? Can we just get a bunch of cooked dogs just going wild? Didn't answer, but they answered somebody else. And I guess that person asked Cookie, when will we see pipe-eye? Will we ever see a live pipe-eye set? He's like, probably not. It's probably not happening. Whoa. I think, yeah, it's crazy, right? I think he's like a little shyer than his funny, goofy antics. I think they have to get it out of him to do like Down the Sink in Atlanta. I think they had to squeeze that out of him. I don't think it's like, yo, Cookie, we're not giving you any time up here, dog. Like, I think it's the complete opposite.
I don't think that's it either. That's not what it is, okay? We've been in bands, okay? And we've had to encourage bandmates to produce product, and not a negative way. And like hey man, I know it seems like we're driving the ship, but we want everybody to have a turn at the wheel here. We want everybody to come in and give us their little piece and add on to the car, and let's make this fucking a dope van that everyone can rep. That was definitely our feel, and I think that's their feel for sure. I don't think that they're like, closing people off. However, there are some alphas in that band, and like if you don't speak up, you're gonna get swallowed like whole. Right. And that, I think, is going on. I think Joey and Stu are the alphas, and their personalities are really big. And they even talk. They said this. Stu was like, we have a habit of talking over each other, and they do. They were doing. I've seen them do it, and they do it live.
How could they not?
Well, Joey's more of a comedic kind of guy.
Stu's not up there for the games and the silly. That's not his thing.
And I kind of, it's funny because I'm a comic. I like that. I'm more the Stu guy. You're a musician, bro. You're not.
Get up and bring it out, dude.
You're a demon in my eyes, bro. You're a conduit of hell and heaven in my eyes. Like those guys conjure the devil every time they play live, and I'm into it. You know what I mean? Like, let's get nuts.
Let's get weird with this shit. Yeah, dude.
Let's get weird, bro. This shit is scary sometimes, and the energy of the people. It's intimidating. It's awesome, bro. I love it. And it gets real fucking dum 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 dum. It's fucking sick. But
it's beautiful.
I totally forgot what the fuck I was just saying.
Well, but to backtrack a little bit on my backtrack a little on my comment there is that while the movie didn't show that candid of King Gizzard, like the behind the scenes, they were willing to get candid through the questions on Reddit. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was like, I guess a little bit of a balance,
Yeah,
like
I don't
answer that stuff.
And and fair point, great point. I and just to clarify my point of view, I'm not criticizing King Gizzard. I'm criticizing the filmmakers for not putting it on there, for them not thinking that would be a genius thing to be like, put the camera over them in a circle discussing things. Like, you should be a fly on the wall. And every time they talk together, get that camera right up in there. And there's something magical going to come out of that, even if it's 5 seconds of talking. And just add it all up, bro. Add it all up. Like, Stu wears the same thing every day. It would look like it would look like it all happened at one show.
They did a lot of talking that day, huh?
Yeah, dude, it's not it would be a filmmaker's dream if the guy was just in character all the time, like a fucking wrestler. He just showed up in his tights every day. It's fucking great, dude. I am not criticizing Gizzard. I am solely criticizing the filmmaker that decided to edit it that way. Of like, oh, let me get Eric talking about merch. That's really important. We don't need to know anything else creative about their process, but let's make sure we mention merch a couple times and show the posters because we know
So it
people
was really
like
good.
that.
What did you think about Stu saying he doesn't want to do any press towards the beginning? He's like, I mean, he's like, from now on, just cancel it all. I don't want to do it anymore.
Have you seen that guy on interviews? He's a dick. He's a dick. When I asked him a question, he was a dick to me, and I was okay with it because I came up with a very stupid last-minute question because they very last-secondly told us that we had 30 seconds. Like I was prepped, ready to go the whole time, like with tons of questions, and then it was like, oh, you get 10 seconds. They said 30, but it was fucking dude. We looked at him, said what's up, and then that was it. And Eric was a sweetheart to us. Eric was fucking totally engaging. Stu hated being there. He was not down. And I was like, what made you pick these songs for this album? And what I meant more distinctly was like, bro, this is a massively different album from anything you guys had done. Why did you pick all these songs for this track? Did you write it just for this album thematically, or did you pull these songs from previous albums? Like, why did you pick these? And he's like, well, we wouldn't have picked them if we didn't like them. And I was like, oh,
you know what I mean, brother?
Okay, all right, man, take it easy, pal.
Hey, your time is up, dog.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. He's not into that stuff. I'm okay with that. But guess who is? Guess who would be? Joey. Joey would totally be into doing shit like that. So probably send Joey on that kind of stuff. Maybe not though. Maybe Joey's not into it.
Maybe not.
I don't think they should be doing press. How many cool bands did press like that? And then when they do press, you find out how much like losers they are.
And what drug addicts they are. Right?
That too, but like, okay, the first time I saw Lars Ulrich behind a mic, I was like, yikes. Oh boy. That guy sucks, man. And then like, so like another example, Travis Barker. So like in Blink-182, the band sucks obviously, but like the two lead guys, they'll talk. Travis Barker, this tatted up fucking G in the back, ripped, like looks like he just got done beating ass. Is just sitting back there nodding. You know what I mean? Smoking fucking weed. It's like that's cool, man. He understands what a natural, like he's just being him for sure. But like that's cool. That's a cool image. But there's too much to know about a band, and I think Stu's right into not being interviewed. And maybe they shouldn't have done all that backstage shit for the band then. It's like, you don't want to be interviewed. You don't want people to know about you then, dude. And I get that. Right. I totally understand that. And I agree with him. However, you shouldn't have, I don't know. It's that video is so bizarre to me now. And because their name's attached to it, it feels like King Gizzard charged us $10. It doesn't feel like this filmmaker charged us $10. And it is, the filmmaker. I think it is that. I think him and Eric just figured that out, but I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what that decision process was. And again, if it was like, hey, we're donating this to charity, so blah, 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 that'd be a whole other thing. It would be a total other thing that I would be like, man, just another King Gizzard awesome thing to do.
And this was fresh after like last week dropping the like 3 different variants of the actual album and stuff like that. So I mean, you know, the homies aren't losing any bread during this global crisis, so to speak.
And people are buying those other is that what you're talking about? The 3 live albums that they released and we're charging people for as well?
Well, that stuff did go to charity, but I mean like Chunky Shrapnel, the record, like that was the pre-orders. I mean, they sold out like this already. So yeah, dude, right. The homies are doing it.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe they could be just continuously reinvesting their money, and like they could be the engine that's running the machine over there in a lot of ways financially.
They sure better be, man. Jesus.
Well, definitely creatively, but financially they're probably running the machine, and Eric probably requires a lot of money generation from them. But I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't know how much they're making from this, and is it really that big of a deal when it's $10? It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of I don't know. It's because if you kept asking me, it's like, why does it matter that much to you? Because it was like a choice. It's like, yeah, the only reason I was obligated is because I do a podcast that I want to do. You know what I mean? So am I really obligated? No. Okay. As a consumer, it's like I can go on Bandcamp, listen to those albums for free, and I don't know. There's a lot of ways for me to get around the logic of it all.
Sure.
But I could go back and forth on it. I just, as a consumer, I wasn't happy with the product, and I wanted to like it. I mean, why would I want to hate it?
Well, you know, and I'm gonna watch it again here as soon as we're done, because I do feel similar to what you said about Infest the Rat's Nest. I think it could definitely grow on me. I think in a different situation where, like, let's say if, this wasn't going down and it was you, me, and like the homies were hanging out and we're drinking beer and smoking bowls, watching the movie with it like in the background, enjoying it, I think it would be a different environment.
Shh, hold on, the music's coming on, bro.
Chill. Yeah.
I'm into that. But sitting here alone, having no one to talk to about it.
Right. I think that generally changes the whole thing,
Yeah.
So I am keeping that in mind. And also, our buddy Jorge, that's a listener of the podcast, what up, homie? He mentioned that those in between, like when they would be on stage, then go backstage, like that, like weird kind of funky ambient music, he loved. So that was some of his favorite part about it. It is very similar to like Bullet, the Joey's solo project. So it did feel like one in one. And what the music was okay, whatever. What I liked is because you feel that way when you leave a King Gizzard show, where it's and people are talking, but you don't really hear what they're saying. It's like you still hear like the loudness of the music, even though there's no music playing. So like when they're talking backstage and it's just like these odd sounds kind of going in and out, and you don't really understand what they're saying. I saw the artsy coolness of that.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like I would much rather have heard more candid stuff with them talking than like, yo, that was a sick show, right? Yo, that was like I'm pretty sweaty, man. You want a beer? Like it's like I already knew they did that. That didn't like rip me open into King Gizzard's world. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I know they're chilling backstage, like, but that's not weird. So
right. I agree with you. And I would rather have seen their pre-show more than their after-show.
Totally. And I like the pre-show of them like gearing up and like listening to like the Sex Pistols and stuff. I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I would prefer that pre-game rather than the aftermath.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't want to sound like an overbearing dick and just shit on it all. It wasn't overall. I liked it overall. I just think there was a lot of wasted opportunity to put some really cool stuff in there that I was kind of expecting, maybe. And it's not their forte. They're not filmmakers. They're not directors.
Sure.
So they put their hands in a director's. They put their asses in a director's hands that he does music videos. So this is his first tip into documentary style shit. So
I think maybe not 100% sure about that, but
yeah, I'm talking. I don't know either. I really don't know who produced it. I didn't do enough digging on that. Maybe Joey produced it. Maybe Joey was the whole mastermind behind the whole thing. I really don't know. I don't know. But I think that was a fair analysis of how I feel about it, though.
Yeah, no, it's
over
good.
The last hour and a half.
And King Gizzard, man, it's half their own fault, man. They put so much on their own plate, and we expect so much from them already. Because their stuff is amazing, man. They're prolific to say the least. So they really didn't
let me down. I don't feel like they let me down here. I feel like this is fan art that let me down. I bought something that a fan is making. And then that kind of was like, that's not what I wanted from that. So I feel like that's what happened. And they got approved through King Gizzard, so it seems more legit. They're like working with Flightless and stuff like that. But so it seems more King Gizzard-y. However, I'm not going to blame King Gizzard for like, they didn't sit in the edit. I don't think they sat in the editing. Some clips maybe, but they weren't sitting with deciding the direction of that whole film. So I can't give Gizzard a hard time for the whole thing that went down. But yeah.
And and this is our our discussion about it. 'Cause like I said, man, and I feel like we needed to do something like this because I'm reading through the comments of everything. Bravo, 10 stars, and like, listen, which is great. I mean the music's there, bro. It's like you said, it's never Gizzard. Like the music, if you like those tracks, especially, you're loving it, and I did. There was some times I was sitting here like, oh, man, these are my boys, and I got that feeling of like, damn,
Same.
I sure want to see them again. Like these are the guys, man. Or even like them setting up in that big, that big red room. It's just like different like layer. I was like, they're about to show out. Like it reminded me of waiting in line to go see them, and like you see the crowd and everybody's so close and getting grungy and nasty. It's like, take me back.
Just kept thinking about coronavirus, man.
Dude, that I posted on our story that there was like that scene where everybody's like doing the worm or whatever. Like that's the birthplace of coronavirus, man. Thank you, King Gizzard. We appreciate it.
Was invented.
That should look savage.
Yeah. So good review, bro. Good review.
Yes, I to the listener out there, man, I feel like we put forth there's too much of like a we have a negative feel. It's not it. It's like we had to do this. This is how we feel about it. We're gonna do it. I was surprised how amazing. I didn't think it would be that amazing. I had a lot of blast. I enjoyed the hour and a half thoroughly. Now, do we have critiques? Absolutely.
I'd like to talk to somebody that was like, bro, best thing I've ever seen in my life. I'd like to talk to that guy.
We're gonna hear about it. We're gonna get those guys, and I welcome it 100%. For sure.
I don't think we will. I don't think we're gonna get people that message us or people have the balls to comment. I really.
They do. Damn it.
They don't. They might think they don't take the time to do it. So they might act like they do, but mostly people that message us are people in support. We don't get the fucking. What you said was complete bullshit. I've never, ever gotten a message from that. It's usually people that are like, have a different point of view maybe, but they always represent themselves. Like, I want to talk to the guy that thinks that I'm a complete fucking retard and that I don't deserve to walk this planet. Like, I want to talk to that dude who's...
You better go to planet B, mister, because this ain't your planet, brother.
Yeah, some guy that's like, what's that? You don't like Infest, bro? I'll fucking stomp your mom's face out. Woo! Like, I want to talk to that dude. I definitely want to talk to him, but I don't know. I don't know if they exist or not. I'm not sure.
We'll find them.
I'm sure they're out there. They just don't listen to our podcast because they fucking hate us.
Yeah, for sure.
The dudes that, when I write, I'm like, hey, comment and let us know what you guys think. Some dude on there just goes, no, right in the comment section. I'll never forget that asshole. He lives in my. It's probably some 12-year-old in the middle of fucking Kansas or some shit.
Zinger.
No.
Got him.
Right.
Little update. I saw one of the questions was like, hey, what are you guys working on? Like what's going on? Stu's like, we've been jamming pretty heavy during the little quarantine stuff. He's been messing a lot with microtonal stuff. So could that be Flying Microtonal Banana 2? Potentially. We'll see how it goes. You don't want to put a label on anything, but it could be.
Could be Microtonal Flying Apple,
Whoa.
Or a pear.
It's like a big drum or something. Yeah. In microtonals or whatever.
Yeah. Could be different fruits. You know what I mean?
Speaking of drumming, what you think about Cavs? Like, I feel there was a lot of drumming, a lot of like him displayed. Again, you as a drummer, did you appreciate that? Like him getting his jam on?
I never appreciate two things that I can do. So there was like a lot of stuff that he was doing that I was like, oh, I could do that stuff. But I'm always impressed with him when it's stuff that like I have never. He did a little bit of it. I'll tell you what. He did a little bit of stuff that was like, if you're a drummer at all, you're like, whoa, I love that stuff where he was going with the hi-hat just on with his foot, and then he was like, at first he was going and then out of nowhere he just was like,
yes.
But like it was really off kilter to where like you really couldn't even hear it. You had to like watch his hits because he was letting it rip a little too heavy, and he was testing the sound of it all. And I was like, man, this guy's timing is so fucking ill. And he didn't come off tempo once, and then he brought in the snare, and then he just started soloing a little bit, and I was like, God damn, bro, this motherfucker, dude. So definitely moments in it you can't not respect the Cavs, man. He knows what he's doing. They want to. You have to. Eric is definitely it was funny at the end watching. So this is the sequence. He's playing. Eric turns to him. He's watching him always like live. He's just kind of like watching him. And there's even times where he's like looking at him like, ready?
It's time, all right.
And then Eric's like, okay, I'll get a couple of those. Anyways, so then he gets up. And then he jumps into the crowd. And he's, going all crazy at the jam session. And then Stonefield, lead singer, comes on the drum set, and she's playing. And now she's looking at Eric like, "Oh, what are we playing, dude?" And like,
that we jamming here?
That was cool to watch that because she's definitely on her come up of skills. Eric's a better drummer than her, but Kaz is a way better drummer than Eric. You know what I mean? So that's cool. It's cool to see the common respect where like everybody knows what's good in the hood. You know what I mean? I like
For sure.
I like that the respect of craft. So it's always cool to see that come out. But definitely some more drumming parts that have ever been displayed. And I've even heard him say that he doesn't like to solo.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. So maybe he's coming more out of his shell, and he's like, bro, I'm a fucking part of a big band. Like, I need to rep my shit. Like,
It's fun,
Tommy
dude.
Lee,
Yeah.
let's go.
Especially
It is
playing
fun.
Infest the Rats, and like, bro, you're talking about some like thrash stuff. Like, go thrash up them drums, dude. You know what time it is.
They're gonna give you your time. That band's gonna give you your time to shine. At some point in that set, they're gonna give you your moment to fucking let it rip. So just like let that rip. Take an extra 20 seconds, and then let's get to cooking.
Let's do it. Get to cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. All in all, it's a groove. Let's hope for Chunky Shrapnel 2. Most excited about that because that means it has to be the complete opposite of this. That means like what are their sets like gonna be on the U.S. tour coming up? We'll see. I have no damn idea.
I'm hoping they give us a little more music in it, a little more actual live parts of them playing, and less of them setting up their instruments, which I don't care about, by the way. I don't know about you guys, but it's like roadies are cool, man, but like I don't give a shit who's the best roadies in the biz. I really don't care, man. Like
there's their best roadies.
Yeah, but the Tenacious D has a great song called Roadie. If I cared about if I want to hear about roadies, I'll go listen to that song. Otherwise,
that'll do it.
I don't want to watch a documentary about roadies, man. Like I don't give a shit. So it's crazy watching that. Yeah, I was not thrilled, but I did feel like the live performances, because of the quality of them. I know you said there's a lot of footage of them. It's the quality level of like, there's not a lot of great quality film of them live in that large of a crowd. That's not typical for them. I'm not saying that they don't play it, but the quality of films, it's just like the camera will be in the way back, or like some asshole's filming it on his phone, or it's something like that. This was like mix boarded. It was perfectly done. You know, they had a great mix with everything that was going on. And some of those songs, it's like, that's forever. Now, it's not forever for us because we don't get to own it, but and
allegedly it's gone forever. So
you said that they'll give it away for free in the album, and if
I wouldn't doubt it.
But if that's the case, that fucking sucks. That fucking sucks. That means they try to double down and make double the money on it for something that they're giving away for free. That they're not giving it away for free. They're selling it twice. That means they're selling it with their album, bro. That'd be lame. I don't think they should give it away for free.
I wonder.
They should at minimal, like, sell it after a little bit and then give it away to the people that purchased it already for free or something like that. I don't know how you're gonna pull that off, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, well,
rock hard place.
Rock in a hard place. But in all honesty, after seeing it, like I said, I'm gonna watch it again or whatever. I don't need to see it 100 times. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it that many more times. Like, it was cool. It was grooving, but how often am I gonna pull that on?
No, I'm not. That's fair too. And I felt that anyways. That's why I was like, why not just give it away then? Why not just give it away sell it to people for $5 or $8 or this is apples and oranges, and I told you this via text. Apples and oranges, but Louis C.K. dropped his live album recently for $8, and it was like a 2.5 year anticipation for that album.
Right.
And he sold it. Not only that, but like unlimited. Once you do that, you become like a subscriber to his independent website, and then he'll give you free content. So like all the shit that you get for free for like 7 months or some shit like that. So it wasn't just his album that you got, which is all brand new content, by the way.
Right.
So
no,
I'm not.
That's fair. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? It's all brand new content, which you have to do if you're a comic. So that's again apples and oranges, but. With Giz, it's like, bro, like you couldn't give me the fishies. You couldn't give, you know what I mean? It's like you're playing the river. I don't understand. You're charging for it. I own that album. I've seen it live. Like I've seen the recordings. I'll go watch KEXP. They play it on KEXP, bro. They literally play it. And so I feel like if as a comic, they're really I don't know what that word is. They're really focused on like, okay, I did that set on this TV show, so I can't repeat that. I did that over here, so I can't repeat that. I did that. And I know that really narrows it down for them. But again, they have an album that they're not playing. And it's like, what do you do? I don't know what that decision is. And it would be great if there was a camera crew that was behind the scenes to cover that. and we would all know why that album's not being played. That'd be a great. I would, and I didn't know about that Reddit thing because I would have just kept resending that comment. Why don't you play Fishing for Fishies live ever? Why? Why do you guys do this? And when you do, you play a song from the whole fucking thing. Why?
Answer. Tell me everything.
If the answer is it's hard to play live or it's like it's more simplified.
We don't like that shit, bro.
I'm not down to hear that, dude. I'm not down to hear that. So figure it out, brother.
Figure it out for all of us. Yeah. Yeah, we had our concerns, but like I said, man, it was an hour and a half that I enjoyed. I hyped myself up for it. You know what I mean? I was like, man, finally something I'm looking forward to this week. Is gonna be tight. Let's get this going. So I'm not disappointed with my purchase or anything like that. I had my hiccups, but like you said, we're consumers, man. We pay for this thing. We can say as we please, and it doesn't make me like King Gizzard any less. It's just how I feel about the little documentary, if you want to call it that. I don't know if it was a documentary. It's just a live performance, really. Live performances, I guess.
Yeah. And because of like how we're recording this, if you guys disagree with what me and Brian are saying or what I'm saying or what Brian individually is saying, together or separate, we're together, but not together. You know what I mean? If you guys disagree with us, we'd be down to bring you on because we're doing with Skype right now. It'd be easy to bring you on and
be easier, huh? No doubt.
It'd be easier on my part. So maybe if not through Skype, maybe a different app or something like that. If there's a better way to do it. But FaceTime, it doesn't work because I can't plug in my audio and I need to have access to my soundboard and stuff like that. So if you guys want to get on here and chit chat with us for a little bit, we'd be down to do like quick little 5-minute segments with people on a full show and do that. I think that would be tight. I don't want to get someone on here for fucking an hour and a half. I think that those shows always go a little off the rails. But if we can get if we can get a few people to call in, that would be sick.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's open those doors up. If you guys are listening and want to get on, hit us up, man. We're down. We're available. So. All right, man. Well,
it's nice chatting with you, T-Bone. That was a good time, man.
Music should be playing already. If it's not, I'll add it on later. So nobody knows.
Hey, man, stay chunky, man.
Hey, whatever, bro. All right, guys. We'll catch you soon. My name's Tommy O'Neill.
I'm Brian Nippon.
Stay busy with it. That's a weird one.